Francisco neighborhood is a stucco desert of three-story buildings jammed shoulder to shoulder without a blade of grass in sight. The tiny lawns that once adorned postage stamp front yards were cemented over long ago when they became neighborhood doggy urinals. Only residents with windows overlooking backyards can see the captive green in the heart of every block. And only from the rooftops can you see stately Monterey cypresses and pines towering above the roof lines. And every year we lose a few more of these aging beauties. The behemoth on my block was a seedling 70 years ago when the neighborhood was young. It matured into a giant that dominated a whole city block. Its 50-foot wide limbs shaded out all other vegetation. Its crown stood 30 feet higher than the tallest buildings around. The tree was a few backyards away from us, and I loved it because of the mockingbirds. Every April, birdsong erupted at 3:45 a.m. to usher in the spring. A few weeks later, another bird sang at 7:20 a.m., and others throughout the day. The times of the day or night did not vary from year to year, but the songs did. Did the same birds return every year with new repertoires, or did they pass on their time slots to their sons? A single mockingbird can sound like a flock because it imitates everything it hears, cycling from the scrub jay's dry chuck-chuck to a finch's lilting warble. "Ooh, baby, come with me," the birdsong seemed to say. "Let me tell you about the places I've been and the birds I've known. I could tell you stories that would singe your pin feathers." Indeed, some mockingbirds stitched together urban litanies of car alarms and cat howls. Beep, beep, weep, beep, 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 meow. The mockingbirds didn't sing just for the joy of it. They were searching for babes. They liked to perform their courting routines from high places. A bird would perch on the tallest branch of our tree and sing its heart out. Every few minutes, it launched itself straight up in the air, spreading its tail and wings to show off distinctive black and white feathers. Some afternoons, 2 or 3 birds vied for the same branch. As soon as one bird flew up, another scooted onto the branch, while a third bird lurked nearby. These displays could go on for hours. Then the tree signed its death warrant by dropping a large branch on a neighbor's shed during a storm. A crew of 3 removed the fallen branch and then conferred with the property owner. I prayed they were discussing pruning the tree, not chopping it down. But no one used the yard except for a German shepherd who howled from loneliness, so I was not hopeful. A few days later, 2 Latino workmen hoisted a pulley block to a sturdy limb near the top of the tree. Then one of the men was winched upward, chainsaw in hand. He swung an aerial ballet around the tree, holding his body at a 45-degree angle and pushing off with strong legs against the trunk. Clearly, he knew what he was doing. He secured branches with rope before turning on his saw. His partner lowered the cut branches carefully to avoid damaging nearby fences and roofs. The whir of the saw continued all day. I hoped they were simply trimming dead branches, but by the next day it was clear they were denuding the tree. After a couple of days, they lopped off the top like a small leftover Christmas tree, and then they began cutting the limbless trunk, which was 4 feet wide at the base. My stomach twisted when I saw that the wood was a clear golden orange, free of any dead gray streaks. The trunk came apart as fat coins of wood, full of sap and vibrant with vitality. It took the workmen 3 days of steady work to kill that tree. I watched until nothing remained but the angry bee buzz of chainsaws hacking the down limbs small enough to carry out through the garage and toss into the wood chipper out front. What would the mockingbirds do, I wondered. For the first few years, they returned in the spring to sing from rooftop smoke jacks and air vents. But every year they started later and stopped sooner. By the fourth year, there was only silence. Nowadays, I can see up the whole length of the block, and my window gets a lot more sun, but no sign nudges me awake at 3:45 a.m. to say, "Happy days, babe, spring is coming, and all's right with the world."
Guttural sound. Challah, Chabad, Chanukah, the hacking, phlegmatic sound of the Hebrew sound when the C and the H come together. Growing up, my mother told me we were Jewish. I struggled to understand. We didn't utter those hacking tonalities, and we didn't pray, and we didn't eat challah, and we didn't go to synagogue, and we didn't do anything traditionally Jewish. My estranged father, who lived in Romania, was an atheist as far as I knew, baptized in the Eastern Orthodox Christian Church. I didn't know if I believed in God, and I wasn't sure that that even mattered. To my 8-year-old brain, this was quite a kerfuffle. "Ma, how do I know that I'm really Jewish?" My mother's firm, almost yelling response to the question sticks in my mind. "You're Jewish because you're Jewish. Because I am your mother. Because we eat bagels. Because we yell when we talk. Because we like to disagree." She was in that moment skimming the surface, grabbing for something to seal out the doubt in my mind. What she didn't say then is that our family was Jewish enough for the camps, that my atheist, secular physicist grandfather was Jewish enough to be annihilated for being a Jew, that in a different world and time, it didn't even matter if you believed yourself a Jew. Your life hinged on an identity you hadn't chosen.